And we are live. Hi, this is Robert, the Red Tie Guy with KMS Realty. I'm here for the second Tucson Business-to-Business Broadcast. My guest, Mark Weiss of Lexus of Tucson. Say hi, Mark.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
We're going to assume that they said good. It's
All right.
going good. All right.
Good to see you, Robert.
Good to see you, and thank you for joining me this evening for my second broadcast, being one of, I guess, the guinea pigs, if you would.
Oh, thanks for inviting me. Appreciate it.
So just kind of catch everyone up, and you, Mark. I met you at a networking event, and
yeah, the Tucson Business Networking.
Yes, Stacy's group.
Yes.
Gary, I think he's also been to some of those. He was my last guest, but you did not come off the way I imagined someone who sells cars would. You seemed very no pressure, very informative, learned a few new things, and I thought you would make a great guest. You could explain these things kind of still, a little bit no pressure, give a few sales pitches if you want, but I thought that would be a little eye-opening. I thought you'd be a great guest, and kind of this broadcast is so people in Tucson, out of Tucson, can get comfortable with us. If they're hearing us talk, they're going to be comfortable approaching us about homes, about cars. So introduce yourself. Tell us about your day. Tell us, what's your job title, what it is that you see yourself doing. Take the floor.
Well, thank you for the kind words. I appreciate that. How part of what I'm trying to do is erase the negative stigma of, the car business and car salespeople in general by, being really more customer service oriented, people oriented. So thanks for noticing. I'm the internet sales manager at Lexus of Tucson, and I operate, we have two stores here in Tucson, one at the Auto Mall and the one on Speedway. I'm headquartered at our Speedway location, which is a brand new multi-million-dollar showroom that we're pretty proud of, 4373 East Speedway. And basically, I talk to people every day that are inquiring about vehicles on the internet, and people that are calling about cars. We got new cars. Do we have inventory? Do we have things? So I'm fielding a lot of these questions in a kind of an unknown time in our industry. And I think for your industry too, in real estate, the market is crazy. Same with us as far as inventory. We don't have a lot of inventory on the ground, practically zero. And so people are learning how to buy cars in a different way. They're learning to buy cars sight unseen. So they're having to trust a value professional like myself a lot more. And so that makes my job a little bit more challenging in that, you really have to establish trust and rapport with somebody either via an email or via phone. And a lot of times maybe a face-to-face kind of Zoom setting as well. So
is there one of those? Is there one of those that's like you're noticing most recently becoming important? I mean, we've recently had COVID, definitely a strong online presence recently for doing deals. So is it like email, phone? What do you think's the best way you're getting rapport with people?
Yeah, email's a big way. Obviously, that's huge. And then the Zoom conferences, the face-to-face, FaceTime, that kind of thing, has been a big plus also. But a lot more video walkarounds, videos of the cars, so I can walk around, do a walk around of the car, just like you guys do video walkthroughs of your homes, right? We do video walkarounds on the cars, and then we're able to send that to the customer, so the customer feels a little bit better about buying a car, sight unseen, plus all of the records and the Carfaxes and the service history and all that. So I've found that it has been a big plus.
So when we did meet, and I'm going to kind of just keep you on the spot for a moment, but
sure.
When we did meet, you did talk about buying a car and that you're more into leasing the cars. And that's something I don't know if it's just me and the cars that I do drive. I'm typically on a motorcycle a fair amount of times. And so Just want to say, what is leasing? What is it versus selling? Let's kind of get that definition out here now, because that was something that felt a little new to me. And I
Okay.
think that'd be a little new to other people too.
Okay. Well, thanks for bringing that up. So I like to kind of equate one. Leasing is kind of like dating, and purchasing is like getting married, right? So leasing,
Well, you put it
even
that way, I know which one my wife is going to support.
right. No, I mean, I know of no better way to know exactly what a car is going to cost you to own than leasing. Leasing, you can really, to the penny what that car is going to cost you to own, or to have in your possession or to use, right? So, big investors or big money people like Warren Buffett and other financial advisors have always said things like, you always want to lease assets that appreciate in value, and you want to rent or you want to purchase things that appreciate in value, and you want to lease or
I was wondering there for a moment.
I get a little nervous there, but yeah, so you get what I'm saying. And leasing, it protects you from the depreciation. As nice as any of our cars are, it's still the most depreciating asset you're ever gonna own. So leasing is going to protect you from depreciation first and foremost, and then other areas like you're better protected financially when you're leasing a car, just because you have options at the end of a lease versus purchasing. At the end of a lease term, you can turn the car in and walk away from it and start all over again. You can purchase that vehicle at the end of the lease term if you like it and want to keep it and want to hold on to it. Or you can turn it in or trade it in and get into another lease. And there's different programs that Lexus has that allow you to maybe get out of your lease a little bit early so that you can get into a new Lexus and do something else and not worry about mileage and things like that. So
moving up, moving down in the type of car.
Exactly. You can take life 3 years at a time, right? We all know, things change rapidly. Technology changes, life changes.
Yeah.
So we can take life 3 years at a time and see how that works for us. And if you maybe downsize in 3 years, or maybe your family is growing in 3 years, you have different options
I mean, if your family's changing, if you're upsizing, downsizing, you need bigger, smaller. I mean, yeah, call me. Let's get you in let's get a home office room in your new home. Once the kids move out, you get some of that money back now that you're paying for college and you're at the top of the market, and downsize. Do that while the interest rate's good and the prices are high. That would be the time to
yes.
Interest rates down, the prices are high. Yeah, that's when you need to downsize.
And leasing too typically allows you to get into more car with less money out of pocket. Money factors tend to be fairly low right now, and your payments will tend to be a little bit lower as well. So
Yeah, a lot of nodding right over here. I'm hearing what you're saying, and definitely get out of renting though, because you just never see that money again. There's not an option at the end other than paying more rent.
it's true. I mean, so it's not designed to build equity. It's really, if you're a person that likes to get into a new car every 3-4 years, if you like to have the latest and greatest, if you want to stay up on top of the technology, the big thing is you're always on the upside of the warranty, right?
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about replacing tires and brakes and other things that may go wrong. You're always on the upside of warranty, and the car's always covered under warranty too.
Do you do many used car sales or used car leases, or is it you largely new cars for what you do?
Yeah, I sell both new and used or pre-owned. You can lease a pre-owned car. It's typically not recommended, just because Residual values tend to be a lot higher. Miles vary greatly. And banks, lenders just don't have a good handle on what it is to lease a used car. So it's too many variables there with used. So leasing is typically on new, and then we have pre-owned cars, certified pre-owned cars as well. Lexus has one of the best certified pre-owned warranties out there. They have a 2-year unlimited mile warranty and 2 years of complimentary maintenance as well.
Oh, all that sounds good. I'm not in the market. I'm not in the market right now. Like I said, I got my motorcycle. I'm getting a wonderful gas mileage off of that. Let me tell you.
Yeah, with gas prices the way they are now, I bet.
Definitely not. Definitely keeping it to 2 wheels when it's clear out and a sunny day. But no, definitely goes well there. In the market in the future, I'll probably ask and get some more details about the options here and there.
Yeah, inventory is kind of all over the place right now. It's hard getting used cars because we don't have any new cars on the ground. So if you can't sell new cars, you can't take in trade-ins. So that makes our used car inventory situation just as bad as our new car situation right now. So
what do you think? Get your prediction. What do you think? Why do you think the inventory is tight for cars right now? And where do you see it going? Where do you see it going in the next couple of months, a year from now?
Yeah, I definitely see it getting better slowly. I think we're still probably as far as 22 goes, I think for the rest of the year, we're in this situation with inventory levels starting to creep up, and then probably not really seeing anything significant until probably 23. We're behind on new models. A lot of it's the remnants of COVID, and we're coming out of that now. So we'll start seeing some advantages there with not having to deal with any of the COVID protocols like we were before. COVID had a lot to do with people getting sick or being out and not having enough workers and a worker shortage. Then there was there's a materials shortage, there's an aluminum shortage, there's a semiconductor chip shortage. Then if you've got cars coming from Japan or overseas, then you've got transportation issues. The Western port being able to process those container cars, which are sitting, off the port waiting to get processed and put on a rail car. So you got all these logistics things to work out, and gas prices going higher, cost of transportation, getting cars here, cars coming from Canada or Kentucky, by rail car, and then do they sit up at the railhead? Or so just some mostly logistical challenges. And I think a lot of people don't realize, because they're just so used to dealers having an influx of cars, sitting there on the ground, and they're able to pick the color that they want or pick a car that they want and drive it home the same day. And it's not that way right now.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I've had 3 things that are pushing the housing market to this tight inventory, and it's been interest rates, the work from home mentality, the work from do school from home, that put a demand for more space. So suddenly everyone needed to upsize. And of course, if you're a business broker, if you're doing commercial real estate, that's a totally different story for that regard. And last but not least, it's supply chain. New builds taking longer to get the homes built, longer to get the homes out there. It kind of put this squeeze that, the places you thought, oh, we'll just go out there and we'll grab the one that they already have framed and we'll move in 3 months. And that just keeps being, 5 months, 6 months. the size you want, you got to reserve the next lot, and that's going to be 8 months.
Wow.
And that's happening at these new build sites where people kind of took it for granted that there was a model home and they can just grab the next one, or number 3 in line. And the only thing that's disappeared for us so far is the interest rates are starting to get where they were before COVID. And so the buyers are starting, so it's what it costs monthly. That's no longer an influence that's driving up the market. That's where it was 2 years ago. But there's still the demand for space, and there's still this general lack of supply. So you're bumping into other people when you go to see a house. You gotta probably outbid somebody. And it realistically, there's something to be said about knowing someone who can look at a neighborhood and say, look, here's where the value is on this home.
Yeah.
Here's what you're paying for. Is that worth that much to you?
Yeah, exactly. We get accused all the time. Dealers are jacking up prices, and the market, the real estate market, the prices are, people are making crazy, ridiculous offers or whatever. But it's not that we're jacking up prices. It's that the price of everything has gone up, right? So you have to account for that. The price of materials and all those things is because of the limited supply. It's relative to demand, like you just said. And so it's likely going to be this way for a little bit. And I think people are starting to understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll be the first one to say, look, it's not some genius real estate move that the prices are going up. It's not like we're insanely clever, or we're pulling the wool over people's eyes.
Right.
Everywhere you look, and the rent's gone up. Why? Because they're 95% filled. So the rent goes up. Well, all those people who can't afford to move, they're trying to buy a house. They're bumping into each other. And when you get bidding war after bidding war, yeah, the prices go up. I'll be the first to say it. It is insane, but it is reality. It is what the market's doing. And I'm not going to pretend that these rising prices is, something smart or clever that people pulled off. No, it's the market. If there's a lot of sales to be done and money made, that's the market doing it. It's not, agents being, some insanely clever people. If you're selling a car for a lot, that's supply and demand. I don't think you're not coming onto my broadcast saying, oh, hey, we reinvented how to sell cars. Look at how much of a sticker this Lexus is going for.
Exactly. And we're not selling cars over sticker like a lot of other dealers are in other places. So, that's taking care of our customers, and that's something that we're all about.
And that's something I'm when I'm selling a home and we're talking about price and we're talking about marketing it, it's very easy to say, look, some website, said you could sell it to them for, $290 or $280. And I come in and I tell you your home's worth, at least $330, put it at $340, and you're probably going to sell somewhere between $330 and $350. Yeah, I'm doing a disservice if we don't look at it and say, look, everything sold in a weekend, all of them took offers above asking. We should be pricing this at the 330, or the 340, not the 290. When you're doing things like when you're pricing it too low, yeah, you're going to get 40,000 over some of these ridiculous stories of, oh yeah, we got 20 offers all above asking, and we finally grabbed one for 40, 50,000 over asking. And I gotta be like, maybe you should have priced it a little higher. Some sellers are probably going to want a little bit of a structure, or they might have a certain reason why. But what's happening to all those buyers? Did they feel like you were misleading them with the price when it sold for that much more? And now your sellers might be wondering, could I have gotten 60,000 more if we just moved the price up a little?
Right? Did I leave some money on the table there?
Yeah, if it used to be that if you got 6 offers and they were all over asking price, uh, you know, maybe you're pricing it too low and you need to move it up before you accept any. And now it's, if you get a bunch of offers and they're all above asking price, that's the market and you're doing your job right. You got to be awake. You got to be aware of these changes, and you got to know how to read the trends
Yeah.
to get, to get the accurate idea of your home, because this swift move is why everyone was thinking, oh, maybe I should go with this website or that website offering cash. It sounds like a good price. Everything's sounding like a good price right now. Find the great price.
Yeah, as long as especially if I can get it, right? If I can get it, I paid a great price for it. Like we were talking, maybe, even pre-broadcast, it's why you and I connected probably too, is, it's a much more consultative approach. When you have a professional like yourself and like myself, where you can consult with your clients and inform them of the market trends and inform them of the process so that they know what to expect, so that they're not overwhelmed by it and they're not surprised by it. If you alert them to all of that and provide them with that information like we do, I think that's what sets us apart from the rest. Not everybody does it.
And mine's partially, I'm just trying to have the conversation. If I'm talking to people about what it could sell for, what's happening in the market, then eventually they're going to come to me on their own. I don't need to I don't need to hire a telemarketer to reach out to people for me.
Right.
It's the other one. I know I can't compete with the telemarketers asking about your car's warranty, but
they will find you.
Well, in all honest truth, just hilarious. Because my cell phone number is on Google, and because I'm sure my phone number associates with so many Google searches for different addresses, I constantly get random calls that say, hey, is this the Robert Neely that owns XXX street in, and I'm like, no.
You got the wrong Robert Neely.
It's great, but I just try to be that honest guy. And when you tell people what's believable and plausible, and you give them reasons to believe you that aren't just telling them what they want to hear, then I believe they'll come back to you. They'll send their friends to you, and that's kind of my idea of the business that I want. Because I could just as easily say, look, I'm going to spend this much money gathering phone numbers, and I'm going to spend this much money having people just randomly call them asking if they want to sell. And yeah, eventually, you shoot 100 arrows in the air, something's going to get an animal for you. But
exactly.
that's not the type of business I want to do. I want to be that guy that they come to and already have that trust, rather than be the salesman, be the pitch, be that high pressure sale.
Absolutely. People can see your transparency and they can see your honesty and sincerity, and people aren't dumb, so they pick that up. So it's not rocket science. It's really taking care of people.
Yeah, I get that impression from you as well. And I had only talked to you for like maybe 10 minutes at that meeting, and then I connected with you later about the broadcast. And I definitely got that kind of, it's Mark. He's not just trying to get the paper in front of me and say, look, sign here, sign here, sign here.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And it's true. It's just, I want to help take care of my customers and help get them what they need. And, the cars sell themselves, right? It's, it's me taking care of people and guiding them through the process. So,
well, talking about guiding them through the process, I mentioned, I bought a car. I want to say it was about maybe 2 years ago. Yeah, I think at this point it was maybe 2 years ago, but we were totally unprepared. It was just, look, the repairs are stacking up on the last one. And just very quickly, we spent the rest of the day, this dealership, that dealership, Googling on our phone what we could find out. What mistakes do you find people make when they're buying or selling a car? What should they do before they show up at the deal? What's the advice you would give before they meet you, before they meet your colleagues at other dealerships?
Yeah.
What's your take on the process from where you sit?
Well, I've been doing it, since 1997, so it's changed quite a bit. I would say for today, especially for today, if you find what you're looking for out there, and a salesperson that you're working with tells you, hey, if you like this one, you really should buy it because it's not going to be here very long. You need to understand that that's not a line that a salesperson is using. It's really a mathematical certainty. It's literally one of those situations where that car's probably not going to be here.
I gotta ask, was that like a clever trick 2-3 years ago, and now it's just the honest truth and not a trick? Or
there's always a truth to it, but most customers don't experience it or don't see it. We used to say the car that you're looking at today and thinking about buying tomorrow is the same car that someone looked at yesterday and is thinking about buying today.
Yeah.
I know it sounds kind of cheesy, but I can't tell you how many times in my career I've had people come in, look at something, really like it, but not ready to move, not ready to pull the trigger for whatever reason. And then somebody else comes in behind them and buys that car. And then that same person calls me back maybe a couple hours later or even the next day. And I tell them, hey, I'm sorry that vehicle's sold. But, that's really more of a just a case. But really today, right in today's market right now, it's a matter of the supply and demand, and the inventory is just not there. So if you find something that you like, and you've done the research, you do your homework, I'd say, you should move forward. You got to understand that salespeople right now are probably not happy that, the vehicle that you ordered is not ready to be picked up in the next few days or a few weeks. We would much rather, deliver it sooner rather than later as well.
Get it out of the way as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's not we're not using that as a ploy or anything like that. Just understanding that there's fewer vehicles for sale right now across the country. And so inventory is scarce. So just understand that, but do your homework. I'd say, check out the cars that you want, that you like, check them out on Consumer Reports. Check them out at JD Power and Associates. Look at the reliability studies. Are these cars reliable? Are they dependable? Do they spend more time in the shop, or do they spend more time on the road? Because I don't want to buy a car, or I don't want you to buy a car that's going to spend more time in the shop than on the road.
So I almost want to just repeat that. I almost want you to be like, look, when you have these questions, go here. When you have these questions, go here. And then say it twice slowly for everyone watching.
Yeah.
This is the moment on YouTube where they all pause and rewind and hit the back button and then press play again and then type it in the search bar.
I don't know if anything that I have to say is worth rewinding for, but I just say do your due diligence. Narrow it down to 2-3 cars. Do your homework. Check out Consumer Reports. Look at what does Consumer Reports say about the car. Look at their reliability studies. Things like cost of ownership. How much is it going to cost you to own that car over the life of whether you're going to finance it, the life of the loan, or the life of the lease? However you're going to finance it, and educate yourself. Educate yourself on all these things. Ask your sales consultant to provide you with that information as well, and then check JD Power and Associates, and check the reliability studies. Does that car have issues? Does it have transmission issues? What are the safety ratings on that car? There's things that you can do to educate yourself before going into the dealership, blindly.
Yeah. And I'll never forget. And it was quite a few years ago, but I walked into a dealership and I mentioned, Yeah, well, I rented this type of car once, so I thought I'd go for it again. They're like, that had so many issues, we stopped making it 3 years ago. I don't want to say what the brand was. Not, it was not Lexus, but I don't want to embarrass myself anymore by
Right.
saying what it was. But it was like, okay, so it drove nice, great, okay. Um, yeah, that was definitely a rental. Then that was not long-term ownership. I made that opinion on. But um,
Yeah.
that's good. I kind of do the same thing in my profession, and I show people homes, and even if it's not something they get excited on, even if they don't make the offer on it, I'm pointing out the sign-in sheet. I'm pointing out the people that we're bumping into at the open house, and I'm having a brief conversation. This is going to be gone. This is at the, everything in the past 6 months has disappeared in this much time, or there was a reason why it didn't. And the reasons are typically pretty straightforward. If you have a pool, well, you're looking for people who want a pool. You can't, and that's going to narrow your buyers, and maybe it doesn't go in a weekend because there's not that many people looking for specifically a pool. And pools have a lot of little details of condition or style, or you know
Maintenance. Yeah.
ex, is the price outrageous for the pool or is it not? And alternatively, solar panels raise a lot of questions. It's a lot of reading, it's a lot of uncertainty, and you can just as easily go to the next home that doesn't have solar panels, and that's 30 pages of a lease you don't have to read. One of them's going to be gone in a weekend. The other one might have to wait until the next weekend because the guy, maybe not everyone wants the solar panels. Maybe you get twice as many buyers for the other one. But I'm pointing that out so that they know, even if they don't buy it, they know which homes they'll know the homes disappeared quickly. It's not me giving them the this is going to be gone next week speech. They can see it for themselves that way.
Exactly.
And that's the same and at the same time, there's just because you put in the description won't last, typing that doesn't mean you're not going to be on the market a month from now.
Right.
Anyone can type won't last, and you kind of need an agent sometimes to say, well, look, you those homes were corner lots with a view of the mountain. Your backyard looks at your neighbor, and you got other people on the side. You're not going to sell for more than them, because they had certain location, they had certain views. And if you don't have an agent that's clever enough to pick that up, clever enough to look beyond just the sheet with the numbers on it, then it's going to throw off the averages. But I'm like, yeah, the only home that didn't sell in a week had tenants that was still in a lease. Everything that didn't have tenants sold like that. So
Right.
the average days on market are thrown off. You take that out, everything's gone in a weekend. Yeah, it's underpriced. Yes, it's going to get something above asking price. And that's just kind of the market. And what you're saying, when it happens here, you got to have the right agent. You got to have someone who knows it and that you trust what they're telling you, so you can believe it when it's good advice given to you.
Exactly. It's spot on. I couldn't
Um,
agree more. People love their cars, and even when they come in to trade in a car, and it could be a really nice car, it could be really low miles, and
mhm.
everything could be immaculate on the car. But then you look at the car and it's black exterior with black interior in Tucson, Arizona. That kind of affects the value of your car. Even though it's a nice car with low miles, the general market says black on black doesn't sell as fast or as well as something that's lighter color or lighter interior.
Yeah. Oh, I'm definitely hearing you. I feel like I kind of been throwing you all the car questions. So, um, if you wanted to ask something about homes other than kind of what I've thrown in, I mean, go for it now.
Yeah. So what I want to know from you is, just with the market the way that it is, how are you and coming out of the COVID situation where a lot of us weren't able to meet personally or be in the same car, I couldn't do test drives without a mask. I can imagine you probably couldn't drive around with clients. How are you dealing with meeting with clients and taking care of your clientele if they're looking for homes?
Like I said, I'm not a market genius. I'm definitely a smart cookie, but I'm not someone who's going to say, hey, the rising market and selling the homes over asking is because I'm clever. I was selling them fast, and I was reliably quoting what they would be selling for long before COVID made my job look easy.
Right.
But just after that, it's very, we shifted gears to doing a coming soon. And that was something that I was doing before, but that it became very formalized in the months leading up to COVID. And then during COVID, it just launched out. But it was like, look, advertise the home first, and then say, this is when we're doing the showings. This is when we're doing the open houses. And when you do that, you're sending a very specific message that says, this is only going to be on the market for so long. This is the time you need to see it. And before someone tries to cut in line and send you that offer, you're sending out postcards to the neighbors. You're dropping off flyers saying, this is when the open house is. So if I'm leaving a flyer for you, Mark, and you have a brother, sister, cousin who likes your neighborhood, wants to live down the street, do the same things, y'all hang out on the weekend, whatever, then yes, who's going to pay more for a home? It's going to be it's going to be the people who want to live down the street from mom and dad, so the grandparents can watch their kids.
Right.
And you got to tell them in advance. You got to announce it, and you got to say, look, here's when the open house is. Here's when you can see the home. Here's my number for you to ask me questions. And of course, I already have all the info. I'm sending it to them in writing. There's your consumer report right there. So that before they've even seen the home, they know the age of the AC. And they already know what work was done. They got at least a general idea of, are we going to be looking for problems, or are we going to be double checking the work that was already done? And then they bump into each other. You're at the open house, one buyer bumps into another. They're at the open house and they see that the sign-in sheet is getting filled up. And those are things where I can say all day long, this home's not going to last. But I was already doing this pre-COVID, and just kind of generating that, it gets it done quickly. So you're not sitting there re-sanitizing visitor after visitor. You got 3 days, you got 4 days, and it's done. And you price it right. You just say, look, and I've had this happen. This is all public. You can look it up on the past listing of the MLS. I had a listing, it listed for $150. And we flat out told people, we are responding to offers, accept or counter, $150 to $170. And before he did that, we had videos. We had it on online. We had it on the websites. We had the photos. I already had all the information for the HOA. I had everything he'd done to the home while he lived there. And it was all on forums. So I'm already posting this up on Facebook, and we're not doing showings yet. And people are asking me about it. And they got time before they see the home to say, hey, can I afford this HOA? And it's complete honesty. And yeah, we got offers. What offers did we get? They were between 150 and 170. We knew exactly what it was. We had multiple offers, and I'm presenting to them 3, 4 at a time. Then we got under contract. The buyer backed out. The buyer, lost their comfort zone. We put it back on the market. I get another 3 offers, 3 days. That's between Christmas and New Year's. That's happening. They canceled Christmas Eve.
Wow.
So it's not even, and I'm trying to get them this so we can be under contract before New Year's. But you provide this information, they see the competition. That's when the person who has to have the home, that's when they're jumping up. That's when they get ahead of it. I was already making those people see each other. And now that it's COVID, it's like, you just got to promise a little more. Here is why it's only going to be on the market a few days. Here is why it's going to be gone. And you got to do it in a way where even if they don't know the agent and they don't trust the agent getting them in the door, they still believe you because you've done it in such a way that they're bumping into each other, that they're all seeing each other on the same weekend, that you have the answers to their questions so they're confident enough to offer, in that quick manner, in that situation, the other buyers are pressuring you. Case in point, if you had three people, if they're all looking at the same car and they're all seeing each other, do you even have to tell them it's not going to be there long? Or
Oh,
can
no,
you just ask them?
yeah, that's a great situation to have, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if one person who really is interested in the car sees two other people that are interested, yeah, you want those guys standing there, absolutely. I was going to ask you, what do I as a prospective buyer, what should I be getting ready? What should I have ready before I contact you, Robert Neely, before I start looking for a realtor? What is it that I need to do to get myself ready to meet with you?
Yeah, doesn't matter. Talk to me. I'm never too busy. I can send you a link for you to schedule a time to call, and then you have my undivided attention. And I've cleared out time to like email whoever I need to email afterwards. So it's like, look, I want to look at some homes. Great. Call me. We'll do a Zoom. I'll show you my screen. And I'm taking this as buyer. If you're going to be a seller and you have a property, that's a different conversation. Let's get the address and let me meet you in the home 24 hours later. But if you're buying, my whole job is one thing. I'm here to make something that's big and complicated seem like easy and straightforward decisions.
Nice.
And a lot of that is, I know the inspectors, I know the lenders, I know this, I know that. So people who call me and they say, well, look, I'm already approved with this lender. I'm going to say, yeah, but that lender doesn't do manufactured homes. And the price range you're looking at is manufactured homes because you're wanting a certain price with a lot of land. Manufactured homes is going to be that. National lenders based out of, like, say, Chicago. I'm not going to name company names, so bear with me. I'm making some generalizations. But the national lenders, they get picky because they have commercials on TV, so they can afford to be picky. You're like, yeah, I called this place, but I wasn't approved. Or I went to my bank and they didn't do this. Well, banks do car loans and they do credit cards and they do home loans. You may need a VA loan specialist to say, hey, here's the program your bank didn't know about, but all I do are home loans. I do a lot more VA loans. Here's that information. So get them in touch with me, and I'm kind of just the resource here to say, look, here's what's available on the market. Here's how we are going to handle your concerns. And, tell me what you're hearing. Tell me what impressions you have. And I'll tell you kind of like what's the direction to go. And I don't drop people. I mean, there's certain clients that I just, it's not my field of expertise. Like if you want to go past Tombstone, I'm going to refer you to someone who knows that area. But outside of that, I don't turn people down. It's, if you're not qualified today, I'm checking in with you in a month. I'm checking in with you 3 months, 6 months. Hey, last we spoke was a season ago. Is your lease up? Are you thinking of changing? Are you thinking of moving? I'm with everyone. So yeah, just give me a call. Just give me a call. Tell me what's on your mind, and we can go we can go from there. Because I can't tell you how many people say, I'm going to buy a home, but I need to improve my credit score. I'm like, by the time you improve your credit score, the interest rate's going to go up.
Right.
And then you're paying more than with the higher interest rate than if you bought when, the prices were a whole 3 months ago and the interest rates were a whole 3 months ago, because every point of interest is about 10% of your purchasing power getting pulled the other way. If it's at 4% interest and you're qualified for 300,000, when it gets to 5%, you're probably looking at buying 270.
That's great knowledge.
That's kind of a rule of thumb. It can definitely change with the market, but when you say that to people and it puts a number in their head of, well, shoot, if I was paying 1,500 at that, now the interest rate's gone up, am I paying $1,650 a month now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, your
But
buying power just dwindled.
no, shoot me a Facebook message and I'll send you the link to call me. I'll send you the link to pick a time, and then you get my undivided attention. And I'll take the notes and I'll send you emails right afterwards saying, here's the lender I talked about. Here's the past client review of someone who was in the same boat. And
Let me ask you another question, if I can.
No, go for it.
Well, with the market being the way that it is, with things going so quickly, I know a lot of home buyers are, trying to get into homes fast. How does it affect those that are selling homes looking to buy a home? If they don't have something to move into, and that yet they sell their home, what are some of the situations that you're dealing with there, and how do you deal with that?
Well, first off, if you're selling your home, this market means you can easily convince other people, other sellers, that your home will sell. If you have to use the proceeds from your sale to buy the new one, now's the time that you can make those offers and say, my home's going to sell, no problem. Now, is that going to, you're still a little bit behind the people that don't have to sell a home to get it. You're definitely behind the cash buyers, but the distance you're behind them is nowhere near what it was before, when it was taking 2 weeks to sell a home. What I do in those situations is I already have the photos of the home. I already have the info sheet of the home filled out about, look, we've already filled out the 7-page questionnaire about the history of the home, and we've already taken the photos. And when I present the offer, I flat out tell the other agent, hey, yes, they have to sell the home to do it. Here's the average price in the market. Here's what we would put it at so that we know it'll sell fast. And here's the photos of the home. So this way, now when the agent that represents the home my clients are buying, he can tell those sellers, yes, but he's ready to go on the market. They'll have their home for sale within 24 hours. They already have the photos up. And then he can even show them the photos of the home. Because the photographer has a website. When he took the photos, I pay good money for, and I'll say his name. My go-to is Joey Ambrose, and he can even do drone shots, but he'll set up a website just for the photos.
Oh, wow.
And I can take that website and I'll send it the link with the offer, so that agent can say, look, they already got the photos. Look how nice that home is. Your home just accepted how many offers in 3 days? Look at these photos. Do you think that one will get offers in 3 days? And now you just remove a lot. You're having a conversation, and doing that removes a lot of uncertainty. And I have props to do that with, the photos.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly. That drone photography is becoming super, super popular now.
it all depends on the location. But certain places the views, the land, it's what
Yeah.
sells the home.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, uh, that was, but yeah, and ask about this stuff. This is why you need to talk to agents early. Because there's a lot of people, there's a lot of agents that will go out there and they'll say, look, just put it on the market and it sells itself. And here's what I charge. And then you got me, and I'm like, look, I have my website, my office has their website, and my photographer has the website. That's 3 places you're going to have that go directly to me, that go directly to the people representing you who want to sell your home. And that's in addition to Zillow, Realtor.com, Reddit, not Reddit, but all those other websites, the whole MLS spread. And then you're talking to me about how my photographer is different. You're talking to me about open houses and flyers and postcards. And then we talk about what I charge, and you see what you're getting with me. People are only arguing about what commissions are because agents started getting lazy. And I don't want that reputation. I do it for a 5-star review, and I leave it no doubt that they got the highest and best offer they could have gotten.
That's great.
Yeah.
Stuff, man. Stuff.
But anywho, we are getting a little close on time. Did you have anything else before we start to kind of wrap up of sorts?
I really appreciate the invite. It's been great chatting with you, and hope to see you at the next Tucson networking function.
I'll have to look into it. So same question to you, because I think it'd be kind of a good note for us to wrap up on. If someone wants to speak to you, how do they reach you? Where are you at? When should they reach out to you?
Yeah, no, thank you. So I'm at Lexus of Tucson on Speedway. You can reach me via email, mweiss@royaltucson.com, MWEISS @royaltucson.com. Mark Weiss, your Lexus guy.
I'm looking around because I thought I had there you go. You have it. Hold it up again.
There's Mark Weiss, your Lexus guy, and there's my Facebook page. And then you can reach me 520-547-8512. And I'm happy to help. I'm happy to answer any questions, just to be a resource, guide you through the process, and make sure that you're getting treated right and treated fairly.
And I'm Robert Neely, the Red Tie Guy.
The Red Tie Guy.
With KMS Realty. And they'll be, give me one moment. We're at the end and my throat's starting to go in a little dry. I should have got a bigger glass of water.
Right.
But my cell phone, 520-955-8057. I'm never too busy to talk about homes, what they're selling for, what the market's doing. I give out evaluations of what your home could sell for. And I also have tools that help you track your equity. So reach out to me, ask me about those. It's never too early to start having those conversations. So, I mean, you just reach out to me on Facebook, shoot me a text. I'll send you the link for the meeting and you can just schedule it yourself. And the next thing you know, we're going over the search by Zoom. I'm sending you an email and saying, look, here's what your home would sell at. And I'm even more precise. I'm like, here's what the websites are telling you. Here's the mistakes they're making. And when you do enough of these, you catch on to those little things of, well, Zillow likes to overestimate, or when it's a corner lot, they don't, type thing. So, but yeah, that's there. My website, www.tucsonhomesalefinder, and that's sale, SALE, tucsonhomesalefinder.com. You can browse there. You can ask what your home's value is there. And yeah, that's me. Thank you again, Mark. I hope you enjoyed it. I do hope I see you again.
Absolutely. Thanks again. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And let me hit the stop buttons here. It was nice having you.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Yeah. Bye.
All right.